Hello, Ritzy Roy again, making another video. Last one was on how to pick a main, and the one before that was on how to deal with zoners. This one is going to be on how to deal with a certain playstyle with each of your different characters, because I don't like making this is how you deal with this playstyle, because that's very different depending on which character you're playing. The style that is common, if you're not getting zoned out or camped out in Elite Smash, or just in general at the lower level of play, because most of my videos are just about helping people get into the entry level of this game. If you're not getting zoned out or camped or ran away from half the time, like I showed in the other video, I want to show you guys how to deal with someone who just I'll show you. Someone who's just pressing a lot, and I mean a lot of buttons. Not like the typical ultimate, like I do Nair, Nair, Nair. No, I'm talking about like Nair and just like mashing combo stars. Like they're just literally just going ham on you. Their controller's just burning on fire because like this. They're just mashing on you, which this playstyle is typically common of beginning foxes because there's a lot of combo starters. But they're just like unintelligently throwing stuff at you. Like it might be bear, 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 and something like this. Which Fox, sadly, even at the highest level, can kind of do this. So this is really hard to deal with because characters like Fox literally can combo off of just about anything they land on you. So they can literally just be throwing stuff at you, and they're just getting advantage state because they're just doing dumb stuff. Now there's multiple levels. There's mashing at every level, just like there's camping at every level, but it gets more and more competitive. The lowest level of mashing is literally just someone who's just throwing out smash attacks, doing nair over and over again. They're not converting off their stuff. And I would say higher level mashing is usually someone who's defending with their buttons. They're not always throwing buttons, and when they get a button, they usually convert off it like really hard. This is like higher level mashing. It's still mashing, but mashing isn't automatically a bad thing in this game because it's ultimate. Ultimate's a mashing game. So let's first break down low level mashing. One of the biggest things about low level mashers is they're usually doing it because they don't have amazing combo game, or they don't usually have amazing neutral or combo game. And sadly, because Ultimate's kind of a dumb game, you have to respect that mashing. So let me go. I'll play my main. Well, my old main. I actually main Ike now. I should change the channel to Ritzy Ike. So against let me hook up another controller. Against I'm hooking up my GameCube controller right now, so give me 1 second. A hardcore masher. Someone who's just beating up their controller, pushing all the buttons in the world. There's, like I said earlier, the things you're gonna have in your advantage is usually that player's neutral is gonna suck. And a big thing you need to keep in your mind, this applies for everyone. When they are pressing buttons, usually their movement speed is taking a hit. They're usually not able to move as fast. For most characters, dashing is their quickest form of movement, and when you're attacking, you can't dash. Which means a lot of the times, if someone's just like literally just beating up their controller like this,
This weekend is all
my
about you.
Spotify is
I
a
like
tad
the
loud.
sound
Let me
of
turn
that.
this down a little bit.
Is just getting started.
It's a tad below. It's adding with. I'll mute this. Because I don't know, YouTube is playing other ads. I'm not trying to risk it. But yeah, if someone's just beating up their controller during a lot of stuff, a lot of the times you can literally just dash back and look for whiff punishes or just punishes on the missed move. Now, the thing I'm gonna say is if they're doing this, you should try and figure out the pattern of how they're whiffing, or just try and look at the move and get a feel for what you can do that can punish it. For me, I played Roy, who's a brawling type character, which means he can't really run away and zone it. But for example, if I'm gonna have to slow the game down. I'm literally using two controllers to show this interaction. I have to do it frame by frame. So this fox is gonna do jump forward, nair, or fair because it messed up. So fair whiffed. I can punish this by dashing back. Now he's gonna go and go and go and go. He's gonna throw his fair, and I can stay safe by dashing back here. but the distance at which you can whiff punish someone is usually a little bit different if you're using this dash back strategy. That's why if someone's mashing on you, you want to generally keep like a certain distance where you can punish them for whiffing, but they can't hit you if they're mashing. Like, so right about here where as Roy, I can punish. Like, see, it isn't gonna be as reactable, but if he does mash Nair, I can dash back like this, and suddenly I have the game pause here. You can see what's going on. I'm out of the striking range, and as Roy, I have to run back, and I can buffer my F tilt, and boom, he's still in the animation, but I can punish him. That's basically a super simple whip punish. It's never gonna be that clean if you're in the middle of a fight. You're usually gonna have to get a fill for your character's things, but if you're a brawling type character, or not brawling, if you're a agile defending type character like Rory, I broke this down last time. If your character is agile, defense, and neutral, they can run around and sprint, and you're like Roy, usually you're gonna look for this if they're mashing, because you have the speed and the mobility and usually the frame data to just hit them, to whiff punish them. Now, the more punishing your whiff punish is, the quicker you can tell them to get them to stop mashing. Another way you can beat it, I didn't show this first because not everyone has this. Roy is just blessed to have it. Is options out of shield. This is gonna be really hard to show. So let's see. I'll make him jump. Okay, now I'm gonna make him hold forward for a few frames. He's gonna do nair. Now I'm gonna shield. Hold on. Okay, nair. It's like finger acrobatics. Hold on. It's like so weird. Okay, wait. It's gonna be here. Dash forward or dash backwards. Jump. Now he's gonna nair and I'm gonna shield. I full hopped him by accident. Let me do this again. So dash forward. Jump. Release the forward stick. He's gonna neutral air. I'm gonna shield like this. He might not have hit. Yeah, he's gonna land on my shield. Boom. I shielded him. Now in this spot, I have options. It depends on who I am. I might or might not have options. Me on Roy, because Roy's awesome, I do have options. I can just do up B as shield. And I think I'm gonna buffer shield with Fox, and I might be able to just. Oh no, okay, it's a frame off. Okay, Roy's up B is a frame too slow to punish that. So Roy actually can't be out of shield. That's why I didn't want to show it first, because up B out of shields are really finicky. Not everyone has a fast one. Roy has a decently fast one, but even he can't punish Fox's nerve. And a lot of people who are doing this level of brain dead mashing are playing characters like Fox or someone who has really safe brain dead that they can just afford to really mash on you with. So that's actually why I did it with Fox. A lot of people who are doing this are gonna be on Fox. So yeah, if a Fox is mashing on you, just know you can't always up B out of shield them. The strongest punish usually is just going to be giving them space, respecting them, waiting for them to overextend, and with punishing them. Actually, let me take us to a real map, because that's an even better example. Because a lot of the times when they're mashing, they're not even paying attention to their positioning, and a lot of the times you can like sort of coax them into a really bad spot. So let's go to small battlefield. I'm gonna go back to my main, or back to who the channel is branded around. I'll probably get back into playing Roy seriously again. I'm doing these videos. So control, let me put it on frame. That way this is way easier to control for me. And also it's easier for beginners to see. So I'm gonna go down. Drop down Fox. Dash him forward. And as he's getting ready to probably mash on me, he's gonna short hop here. Now he's probably gonna be looking for Nair. Now the problem is if I go for the dash back with punish on Nair, like right now, if I go for it, I do give up some of my stage positioning, which might hurt me. a little bit. Now, if I can just immediately get the whiff punish, which I think Roy, because once again Roy is pretty sick, he can do it because he has the option. So here, up yeah, shield wasn't the play, but Roy he got the whiff punish and he can get the dancing blade. Now this is probably not the best dancing blade spot, so he can DI out, but oh never mind, because he couldn't. Yeah, so I can just get the dash back dancing blade and punish in there just because Roy has that, but not everyone has that. Like if you're someone like Falco, a lot of people can whiff punish, but maybe not everyone is amazing at it. The better universal option is probably whiff punishing, because a lot of decent amounts of people have it. The less universal option is options out of shield. Those are very niche and specific. Joker's one of the best characters in the game, and he doesn't really have an absolutely broken option out of shield that can punish people with. Now, if you're someone like Cloud or that one build to be Gunner, Game and Watch, and stuff like that, then you're gonna usually have a pretty nice option on a shield that can make them think twice about mashing on you. But if you're Roy or someone more simplistic, it's usually you're gonna have to dash back against them. So that's how the brawling, the fighting type character is gonna deal with it. The agile defender, I guess, the person who can dance around and play neutral. Now, if you from the last video chose a main that was more set play like, this is a lot harder to deal with in the moment, but here's the benefit to it. If you are a set play and they are mashing, that usually just gives you a chance to just learn like where they're mashing towards, which I'm gonna be honest, 100% of the time they're almost always mashing towards you. Let me turn my Spotify back on. I just realized that it got muted. My bad, guys. So they're almost always gonna be mashing towards you, which a lot of the times you can just dash back and literally just put your stuff right here, because you know this is where he's going. And the instant he goes here, he's just gonna get blown up for it. Snake is a really flexible character, so he can just do a lot of stuff. Like he could just honestly, Snake is one of those broken characters who like you can burst option him, you can whiff punish him with your burst options. You can set play him. You can put him in a really bad position if he tries to come over here. You can literally just blow him up for it. There's like a lot of crazy stuff you can do with Snake, because Snake is another amazing character that's just has a lot of things he can do. But yeah, typically if you're a set play character, if you set plays, if you know where they're going, that's huge, because you can literally just bait them into your danger zone, have him come over here like an idiot mashing on you, and suddenly he'll just run into all of this nade pressure, and then that's gonna set you up for your advantage state. And I went over last video how Snake's advantage state is. Once one nade hits you and he gets you in tumble, he can literally just keep tacking on nades over and over again, and then he can just combine that with his own normals that are insanely good, and the pressure just adds up really quickly. So mashing is probably the most dangerous against a set play character, because if you're someone who like has to control the map, just run back, get your map control, because once again, it's like I said at the start of the video, people who are mashing give up their movement speed. If you're constantly throwing out normals, you're not running, which running is almost always the fastest way to move in this game. Which, if they're not running, that's time for you to just set up your good stuff, and that's time for them to just run into it stupidly. That's why at the highest level of play, the mashing they're gonna do, because I pretty much showed you how to deal with it. I showed you how to do it with the melee brawling type characters, and I showed you how to do it with the zoning. That's pretty much what everyone falls under when it comes to punishing. Punish is pretty simple in this game. It's really neutral and advanced state that's really different. But punish, I would say, is a lot more simple. A lot of people have a certain universal punish option, but some people's are just better. Now, for high level mashing, which is actually dangerous, which you're gonna have to deal with, which everyone does at the high. Some players mash at the high level, some players camp at the high level, some players bait. It just depends. I would say, for example, Light Fox isn't too mashy. It's more bait. It's more bait and pressure, which is kind of like mashing, but it's a little bit different. I guess a character that's closer to mashing at the high level is probably like Esam. He likes to put a lot of pressure on you and stuff. Sometimes MKLil. But like I said, mashing doesn't immediately mean you're bad. It just means you like higher APM. You have a higher APM playstyle. You have more moves you do and stuff. Oh, I thought it was gonna be Starlight Zone. Man, that made me kind of mad. I was hoping Starlight Zone was gonna play. Okay, whatever. Okay, so at the high level of play, this is usually what you're gonna experience. You know, they're gonna be throwing stuff out every now and then, pressuring you. But if they get that hit, just know they're about to turn that into like 50. Like they're not just gonna hit you once and that's it. They're gonna hit you a lot of times. Like if they get that hit, they're about to blow you up. Which here's where it becomes really dangerous, and sometimes you just have to respect it. Now the way it is countered, it's at the high level play, it's like a rock paper scissors shoot. If you're throwing out a lot of actions per minute, you once again the same thing applies where you're not moving as fast. And someone who isn't throwing out as many moves is gonna have more access to running, which running is really good for running back and punishing or with punishing. So it's like at the high level, it's a balance between throwing out a lot of moves and running around. That's where you gotta like find your comfortable zone with your character. Some characters like Fox are so fast that they could just afford to throw out more normals and just contest people who are running. And some characters like Snake have to throw out less normals just because they physically, every time Snake throws a normal out, it makes him pause. He has to stop playing the game for a little bit. So he has to think about it, unlike other people. So let me go to, let's see, a high level mashing character is still Fox. He's one of the best characters to just have high APM gameplay with. And Roy's also a high level mashing character. Like if you want to press a lot of buttons, if you want to be good at this game but still you love your high APM gameplay, I definitely recommend Roy. He's a very high APM character. Even though it depends on the situation. So let's slow him down a little bit. Slow this game down. So, same thing is going to apply. You're looking for whiff punishes and stuff, except there's a new there's a new thing. You have to find a rhythm now. Unlike before where like you just know they're gonna press buttons, you have to find the rhythm at which they're gonna come in and press buttons. A high level player isn't just gonna run at you all the time and press buttons. What they're usually gonna do is, let me put him on control. This is what I love to do on Roy. And I know people who play Fox at high level love to do this too, but I watch it. Usually, this is what they like to do. They want to be in your active striking range, or in their active striking range, where they can hit you. So this is like usually where they're going to be. This is the range where you can technically whiff punish them, and they can hit you. They're so quick though that if they throw an option here, it might almost be unreactable. So you have to be very careful in this situation.
It has no logo, brand, or mark.
Let me move him a little bit. So let's say like we're both about here. In this distance where we're both playing neutral, it's like a mix-up. He can wait to throw an option, or he can immediately throw something out. Now, if he's a higher APM player, just know he's probably looking for an option. Especially if they're Fox. If they're Fox, they're definitely looking for something, because you know Fox can literally combo off of anything in the game. So the way you're gonna deal with this, or like the general tips I can give for it, is this is like medium level play. This isn't like pro gameplay, because you know I'm no pro, but this is like the general thing I can say against this is basically learn the rhythm. It's if you ever play like Street Fighter or any analog fighting game, I would say, or digital fighting game, that's what they call them. This is what they call neutral or footsies, where like when they dash forward, you might have to dash back or something like that. When they go in for a normal, you be ready for it. But unlike with brain dead mashers, they will adapt. Like if they see you keep dashing back, they're gonna do. If they see you keep dashing back, especially if they're Fox, they could just do. Hold on. Let me set this up better. So they're at this range, and I'm trying to run back. Fox, I think, if I'm right, is a little bit faster than Roy, so he might just be able to. Hold on. Well, he could dash attack me. Because usually I'm not going to run on the way back. So if I just do my initial dash back, because a lot of times you're not running back, you're just initial dashing back. So if I do initial dash back, he can read that and dash attack me. Because that's a really good burst option for covering initial dash back. He can read that and dash attack me. Or he can read that and just keep running. Like because maybe it's not always, it depends. If he's faster than you, he might just be able to dash attack you for running back. If he's slower than you, then he might just want to keep running to try like pressure you into something, or he might even do like run up shield. Like in this situation, I'm trying to buffer his shield. See, in this situation, if I tried to dash back and with punish and jump, he could shield. So this is like the fourth option that like you won't see too much at the lower level of play, but once you get better at the game, you're gonna see people start mixing up. They're not always gonna run up with a button. They're gonna run up and shield you and stuff like that. So to counter that, you need to start making your own times where you run in on them. And you can't just rely on dashing. Even if they're pressing a lot of buttons, sometimes you need to run up shield them, or you gotta remember all the stuff that they're doing to you that's annoying, you can do it back. This is when like the ebb and flow of neutral, like when pros are talking about neutral and stuff, this is what they're talking about. It's like it's like rock, paper, scissors, shoe. Like when they do this option, how am I going to counter it? Or let me not keep going for the same options. So like this guy, remember everything I was breaking down for the Fox, you can technically do back to Fox depending on which character if you're a brawling character. Like for me on Roy, I can do a lot of that back. This is a terrible matchup, but there's things I can do back. Another thing I can do is if you're a sword character or a big hitting character, you can outrange them and stuff like that. If you're an agile defender type character like Roy or Greninja, remember a lot of the things that people are doing to you on offense, you can always reverse, do it back to them, or you can literally run back and press a button. You have that option. Now, if you're a slow character that doesn't have that option, like Byleth, which if you're fighting a Fox's Byleth, I'm praying for you because this is not easy. It's doable, but it's not easy. Like a decent Fox, if you're on Byleth, is usually really hard to fight. But you never know. This is probably something that happened in Japan where they have all those really weird matchups over there. Or if you're just hard set on a slow character like Byleth, typically, here's how you're going to want to deal with this. You can, with punish and dash back, but typically if you're slower, the thing you're going to have going for you is buttons. You have usually really big hitboxes and really annoying options. So typically in neutral, you're going to want to like wait for when they're getting close and throw out a button or an option to keep them out or something like that. Byleth has a good range, so she can really throw out a lot of stuff. So the neutral becomes more of predicting what they're going to do and when you throw your buttons. Now the scary part about this is the fact that Fox himself can know when you're going to throw out a button and will punish you. Which just kind of comes into like everything in the game. Fox can know, like, you always, let's say you always F-tilt when he's at this range. Fox can just realize you're F-tilting and then just dash attack you. Because he always realizes you're F-tilting. Or something like that. Like, he can see you're F-tilting and he can get in and, you know, he can mix you up. So, with Byleth or any other big range character, you're going to generally want to mix up when you're throwing out a button, when you're jumping, because that's another option I forgot to cover. Everyone in the game can jump in neutral if they are feeling threatened. It's not always the best option because being in the air, unless you're Zero Suit Samus or like Jigglypuff, you're usually always vulnerable because you don't have your shield and stuff like that. But sometimes if it's all else is gone, you have nothing else you can do, you can jump back. Because when you're in the air, half of Fox's normal options don't hit you. He has to resort to different things when you're in the air. Like, he has to call... Actually, when you're in the air, Fox has to call you out and hit you out of it. Which, sadly, Fox is actually really good at doing that because he has one of the best jump speeds in the game. A lot of the aggressive characters are good at that. But it is an option. If you're reading a lot of dash attack, you can jump and maybe get a punish. Or if you're reading... Another thing is... If you're reading run up shield, sometimes you can just jump back and just get saved. You know, that can also get punished. If you have platforms though, sometimes jumping to the platform to improve movement isn't too bad. But just know, typically against these rushdown characters, being above them is not always the best move. A lot of the rushdown characters in this game have amazing ways to cover above them, and a lot of characters in general are at their strongest when you're below them. I mean, when you're above them, when they're below you. But it is a mix-up. It's another option you can throw out. It's not just dash back. The main thing about neutral in this game, or just dealing with someone who's fighting you and pressing a lot of buttons, is you need to mix it up. You can't just... It's not one way to deal with them. You gotta learn their habits and stuff. So get used to mixing up your jump backs, your dash backs. If you're a heavyweight, it's gonna become a game of when do I press the button? When do I pull the trigger when I throw something else out? And just be ready for the person you're fighting to adapt to your trigger timing, so you have to start changing it. Like maybe delay when you pull the trigger, maybe pull the trigger early, or maybe don't pull it at all. Like there's a lot of things you can do. Or if you're feeling crazy enough, you can do the thing that's hyped up the most about this game in a hard. You can hard read someone. This is the last aspect, and I'm just going over this real quickly because it's very self-explanatory. If you can guess what they're gonna do, and you're a character like Byleth who has really devastating reads, so let's say I read he's gonna dash in on me, right? He's gonna dash in and shield because like he consistently dashes in and shields. Like that's just his favorite thing to go for in neutral. Let's put it on one frame. So I'm reading he's gonna dash in and shield. Now I can let me full screen it. I could do something really ballsy here. If I'm reading that, I can maybe feint like I'm gonna dash back. I see the shield, then I cancel it, my dash back, and I grab him. Which Byleth has some nice grab stuff she can do. So he or she. So from there I can get down throw, maybe like fair, something like that. Something our Byleth main would do, not me, obviously. This is one of the few characters I have not tried out once. So yeah, Byleth in this situation can dash back if they're reading your always showing. Or let's say the Byleth always reads that you like to dash in, dash out, or just always reads when you're gonna dash in. Byleth can be really ballsy here. Throw a preemptive F smash, and then Fox might still be in his dashing lag because he did initial dash, and boom, he gets hit by it. So these are really, it's the same thing as what I said earlier about if you're a heavyweight, you throw out buttons. But the thing is, everyone in the game can do this. It's just heavyweights usually excel the most at these hard read type plays. Every character can do it, but it's not as strong with them, basically. Like, Joker can do the same thing, but base Joker literally is just going to down smash you and get like, what, 18%, which is nice. These hard read options are way stronger at like kill percent, because that literally, it kills them. At low percent, they're not really worth it. Like, hard reading someone at low percent, unless like you're gonna get advantage, like stage control usually is not worth it, just because you're just gonna get some damage, which is nice, but the risk reward isn't in your favor. Like, all you're really getting reward wise is you're hitting them back, you're giving yourself space, but you're not getting combos, you're not getting a lot of mix or pressure and stuff like that. You're probably better off doing something like down tilt, which is a lot safer, comes out quicker. It's similar to a smash attack, but you get way more reward off it and it's a lot less risky. Versus like if you're, let me show a character. This is gonna like get into why Ganondorf is kind of a bad character, because he lacks. The reason why Ganondorf is kind of bad is because in neutral he kind of is solely reliant on the hard read. Everything he does is like a smash attack or hard read, which all of it is really high risk, high reward. Like, all he really can really whiff punish you with is F tilt or nair, which basically the best way to think about Ganondorf is like all of his stuff is super high risk, high reward. I missed it. But yeah, all of his stuff is like super high risk, high reward. It's the main thing you gotta know about when fighting him. And his whiff punish game usually sucks. So a lot of Wi-Fi Ganondorfs are gonna rely on his hops, which they're good, but just know if you can. A lot of them, when they hop, they're gonna land with nair because it has like literally no in lag and it's very easy to spam and wall people out. Usually you counter this by, you know, spam shooting stuff back at them or whatever, but if you don't have projectiles, actually this is basically what I'm talking about, but it's inverted. So let's say, yeah, instead of a Fox mashing on you, let's talk about a mashing Ganondorf real quick. This is kind of what I was trying to segue into, but I'm playing Ganondorf, so I made it seem like I was helping you deal with it. So if a Ganondorf is mashing on you, the thing you need to know about him is just like Fox and everyone else who's mashing, they usually heavily give up on movement speed. Ganondorf is extremely slow when he's mashing, which means he's extremely susceptible to run back anything. If you're a set play player, run back, set stuff up, and just blow him up for mashing on you, or zone him out. If you're a brawling type character, you usually can do options out of shield against him. You can whiff punish, you can learn the pattern or something like that, but just know he's extremely slow. Like, he can't play neutral. But this is really deadly if he has you in the corner. He can just keep pressuring you with nair over and over again. So, and you can't, when you're in a corner, you lose access to run back.
You know those things impact your credit score.
So yeah, mashing Gander from any mashing heavy in general, just know they're usually way slower when they're mashing and they're extremely susceptible to getting hit by stuff. I mean, extremely susceptible to you running back. So that's how you deal with a mashing heavyweight. It's typically not nearly as threatening. It's annoying on Wi-Fi, but mashing heavyweight is nowhere nearly as threatening as a mashing fox or a mashing Pikachu. This is genuinely how you're playing. If you're playing at heavyweight at the highest level, you generally want to have a more of a dash around type gameplay. You don't want to press any buttons because you're already really slow. So when you throw out buttons as a heavyweight, you just slow yourself down even more. So usually heavyweights you fight at a higher level are pressing a few less buttons than usual. You're usually playing more analytical. Also, they all universally have bad disadvantage state, and they get exploited by characters like Fox and Snake, who can just blow them up in disadvantage. So most really good heavyweight players are going to be slower, maybe even campy, just because they're not fragile, but things can quickly shift in your favor if you get the hit on them. And the thing I mentioned for my last video was the 3 different types of advantage states. All of those advantage states work on heavyweights. That's the reason why heavyweight traditionally in Smash Bros is bad. Because those 3 different types of advantage states have like traditionally been in every Smash Bros game. But in games like Melee, usually the second one, which is combo based, is usually stronger. And the one where you have that one big move that juggles someone is usually a lot weaker because actually Melee only one person really had that. It's mainly Roy. Everyone else has kind of had the combo advantage there. Not Roy, I mean Marth. Marth's one of the only people that really Marth and sometimes like Samus, I guess, but it was mainly the combos in that game. But Marth had that juggle advantage that he could do. But now because there's more swordies and just sword-like characters in this game, a lot of people can do that. But yeah, mashing foxes are dangerous. Mashing heavyweights, remember, they're already slower besides Bowser. And when they mash, they're really, really slow and very susceptible to if you want to camp them out with Snake, if you want to dash back and figure out their pattern and get a whip punish going, or if you're a heavyweight yourself, you might even just be able to bait them out and throw out a button if you're a big hitting character yourself. So that's my general guide on how to deal with high APM players. I don't want to call it mashing towards the end because we started out simple with just mashing, and then I tried to branch into the more complex version of mashing, which is just high APM players. People will press a lot of buttons in neutral. It's not as simple as someone just throwing out buttons. That's what the main point of this video was for you to realize that as you get better at the game, mashing won't go away. It'll just get more complex, and it becomes a form of neutral. And there's always ways to deal with it, but as you get better, the way you deal with it gets more steps. Like as when you first start the game, you only need 1 step to deal with it. You just need dash back or option on shield, and you're good to go. As you get really good at the game, you need baits, dash backs, parries, throwing out normals, hard reads, jump, hop back. Like there's so many options you need to deal with it because they will start doing more stuff. So yeah, that is my guide against mashing. I'll probably, I did mashing. I'll probably do a guide against low APM players or campy reserved playstyles next. This is Ritzy Roy signing out. Until next time.